Hello, hello, and happy Thursday. Wow, last week of June, and what a busy week it has been. Welcome to today's welcome to today's live level up conversation. Whether you're tuning me live or you're joining me on the replay, I'm so glad to have you with me as we get closer to next week. I can't believe July is already this weekend. Welcome to the show. Let's get started.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Market updates. Speed round. Award-winning financial pro. And now, get ready. I present to you Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hello, friends. I'm Winnie Sun, your host and award-winning financial pro, Forbes contributor, and a CNBC council member. If you're brand new to the show, welcome. It is so great to be here with you. We're streaming here live on over half of the different social media platforms, streaming platforms. And, we're going to jump right in and let you know how the market did. But for those of you joining me live, definitely don't be shy. Come in, let me know where you're joining me from. Introduce yourself, because we always like making new friends on this show. And a big welcome back to Joshua Crossx Fighter on YouTube Live. Did miss you. We did miss you on the last show, so it's great to see you back with us. And I see a lot of our friends joining on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else on YouTube as well. All right, let's start as we normally do and talk about how the market closed for today. The Dow closed positive in territory, up 269 points, almost 270. So we'll take it. That's a great day. The Nasdaq, though, unfortunately down less than one, so down 0.42 for the day. The S&P 500 also up 19. So kind of mixed. Nasdaq, I wouldn't even say Nasdaq is truly a negative day, because that's not even the whole point that it was down. But so overall, this wasn't that bad a day. The stock market definitely climbed today, supported by some fresh data that came out talking about the resiliency of here in the United States, our economy, and of course, the successful Fed stress test, what we're going to talk about in just a moment. We're also seeing some revisions on first quarter GDP here in the US and a decline in jobless claims, which reflects, yet again, a strong economy and maybe pulling us yet even farther from talks of recession. Hopefully, right? Fingers crossed. But there continue to be talks about strength in the economy, and it's providing room for the Fed, of course, if they want to, stop and not increase interest rates, which we know isn't going to be the case. But it also does give room for the Fed, if they do need to increase interest rates, that maybe we're going to be okay. Now, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell did say, in fact, this week, that do expect the two interest rate hikes. Don't think that they're going to go away, just because some of the analysts have been saying that perhaps there won't be two before the end of the year. But he's saying, yes, there will be. So pay attention to that. The other thing we're seeing is Google's search interest on the word layoffs, believe it or not, between November 2022 and January of this year was actually high. But the good news, it does look like there haven't been as many layoffs in just the last few weeks. So perhaps this is giving some indication that things are getting better. But certainly the overall job market strength is continuing to put some pressure on inflation. So it's like neither there nor here, neither too hot, neither too cold. So let's see how this is going to unfold. All right, let's talk about big banks. Why don't we? And this is part of the reason why the market closed in positive territory today. Big banks, are they okay? Well, so far it seems like they might just be, because U.S. banks are reported today that they passed the Federal Reserve's stress test. Now, this is a test that demonstrates these banks' ability to withstand a severe global recession, and of course, uncertainty in the banking industry, which we've seen with First Republic and some of the other banks, right? Well, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and many others have all demonstrated that they have strong capital buffers well above the minimum requirement. Now, regional banks like PNC M&T also passed the stress test with sufficient capital buffers, so they're also probably breathing a sigh of relief, and those who bank there probably feel pretty good about it as well. But results have been varied, with Charles Schwab having the highest capital ratio and Citizens Financial having the lowest ratio. So giants in the industry are projected to have higher net income losses under the severe scenario, with Citi, Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan sort of leading the pack, Citigroup, that is, Unipack. So they're saying that tougher requirements are going to be necessary and should be expected from banks just to make sure that here in the United States that we can trust our banking institution. This is to increase stability, but also potentially limiting profits and lending capacities from some of these major banks. Now, I think we would all agree, given that we've seen with some of the banks like Silicon Valley Bank, that we really like to see our banks be secure and more careful about how they lend. And of course, we don't want to see, just making bad financial decisions because it really can impact the entire banking and financial industry. So the Fed is exploring sort of these reverse stress testing and aiming to make sure that banks are just ready for various economic scenarios and market shocks. And really, it's kind of like it's not an emergency. It is kind of like it's kind of an emergency fund or emergency plan for banks. So that news came out pretty positively. So that's definitely being reflected into the stock market today. And yeah, so Joshua forgot about your previous show. No problem. I'm just glad that you're here. I'm grateful that you can make it today. All right. So let's talk about Linda. Now you're thinking, who is Linda? Well, soon, perhaps, when I say Linda, you'll also think and remember her just as much as you remember the name Elon. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but here's the deal with Linda, aka Twitter's new chief CEO. What has she been up to? Well, Linda Yaccarino, which is Twitter's new chief executive, has, as you know, been prevented from working on advertising deals due to a contractual agreement from NBC Universal, which is her former employer. So there was probably a non-compete there. She just can't really work on advertising deals. So what in the world is Linda working on right now for us, especially those of us on Twitter, right? Well, supposedly from this report, it shows that she's been focused on repairing relationships. Not a big surprise there. I wonder who ruined those relationships, including Twitter's relationship with Google and improving employee morale. Sounds like someone's coming in to fix things, to clean house, to do some babysitting and making people feel better. And I wonder who caused all these issues. Well, Linda has acknowledged the decline in Twitter's advertising revenue. She's expressed a need to persuade brands to return to the platform. And of course, to have good relationships with the media. This is so important. And using them as advocates to amplify Twitter's strategies. I wonder who ruined that as well. Well, Linda's non compete clause is expected to expire after her first few weeks at Twitter, but currently she's unable to engage in major advertising discussions. And Linda Yaccarino has been on a fact finding tour and leveraging her relationships within the advertising industry. But she's remained in San Francisco. So far, hosted a European Union delegation, and of course, has been working hard to help mend Twitter's relationship with Google. Goodness, it's almost like someone came in and over 6 months created all sorts of problems, and then they just brought in someone to kind of fix things, doesn't it? It certainly sounds like that to me. Well, Linda is now focused on employee engagement, holding happy hours for employees again, maintaining an optimistic outlook. You think employees would like that? Would they feel better working with a chief that focused on things like that? Well, I don't know about you, but I think this is all going in the right direction. So Twitter's workforce has significantly decreased since, surprise, surprise, Elon Musk acquired the company. So we will see. We'll see if these actions really improve things out at Twitterland. And if you work at Twitter or if you use Twitter, I want to hear from you how you feel about this. Do you think this is sincere? Do you feel like Linda is just coming in to fixing some of these problems that, let's be honest, Elon Musk created a lot of these issues? Is she coming in to fix things? Is she going to be able to stay? Is she actually going to make some input, or is she just going to be like continue to fix the things that he messed up? And then going forward, is this going to be an ongoing cycle, or is she going to stick? Let me know your thoughts on it. I certainly think this is a move in the right direction. I do think that the employees at Twitter probably feel that this is a wait and see, but it looks like at least her intentions, and maybe it's because she can't do advertising deals right now, is in the right place. So let's hope. Let's hope. But hopefully, Google and some of the other advertisers also pay attention, because you want to make sure you do business with companies that really care about their employees, as well as just positivity, optimism. We love all that. That's awesome. Okay. Speaking of optimism, I had a fun story I read actually yesterday that I love to share with you. And this is the world's largest gas station. Yes, this is business news. The world's largest gas station, believe it or not, has just opened its doors, and it's here in the United States, in fact. So if you're here, you can actually go and visit it. It's offering a very unique experience for visitors. Okay, this is huge. Talk about like gas stations of gas stations of gas stations. Get this, Joshua. 120 gas pumps and over 350 employees. This gas station goes far beyond your typical corner gas station. All right. In fact, the grand opening spectacle, this is in Tennessee. From midnight, people were there to witness a supersized opening event. This is crazy. New location spans a whopping 74,000 square feet. Just compare that to the size of your home. We're talking, I was like thinking 74,000 square feet. I don't know how big a Costco warehouse is, but certainly sounds like it's in that arena. So this new location in Tennessee, which is a gas station, by the way, is going to provide ample space for a variety of offerings. I'm like, is this really still a gas station? But yeah, it's a gas station. From fresh fudge to barbecue sandwiches and even bathing suits, this gas station literally has it all. It's open 24/7, so you can visit anytime you drive by, I guess. Visitors can enjoy the convenience of round the clock service, catering to their needs all the time. It almost feels like they put a super Walmart next and put gas on it. I mean, I guess Super Walmart, some of them had gas stations, but they just called it. So anyway, this is called Buc-ee's. Okay, I've actually visited Buc-ee's. I visited one in San Antonio, Texas, and it was literally like almost like a tourist attraction. Like we were told by locals to go visit it. We did, and it was kind of a lot. It was pretty cool. They had these little tiny beavers or things everywhere, stuffed beavers, that you could buy. Like they have their own, mascot. It's pretty popular. So this place did originate in Texas in 1982, and Buc-ee's has become a popular travel destination across the South. But yeah, so some of the things that you can enjoy for those of you who are foodies or watching or just looking for something interesting to go to, Buc-ee's may be on your next stop. In fact, I will tell you this. I read this that said that the average person that stops at a Buc-ee's spends like over $60 on their trip. I'm guessing that includes gas, but yeah, $60 to $70 that they spend. But they actually have their signature barbecue. So this new store is going to serve their renowned brisket sandwiches and other fresh barbecue items. And I guess they also have a lot of like unique offerings, like they talked about a lot of Bucky labeled things and different types of. I think they had like when I went the one in Texas, I think it had like over a dozen or 2 dozen types of beef jerky alone, and chips and soda. It was like literally walls and walls of soda. Just imagine like your typical big gas station that you would pass by maybe at a truck stop, or between here in Southern California and Las Vegas, there's a number of large gas stations. Well, this is like that, like by 100, I'm guessing, because they're huge. So they're really embracing the experience. Buc-ee's is recognizing the trend of customers spending more time enjoying gas station amenities. Who knew? I had no idea. But yeah, so let me know if you've ever been to a Bucky's. If you had, let me know your experience. To be honest with you, I was kind of overwhelmed by the experience, but I did notice, and I heard from many people that said by far Bucky's has the most clean restroom facilities of any gas station you'll ever visit. And in fact, it was like indoors. It almost felt like a hotel restroom experience. So yeah, so that might be worth it to visit, right? Yeah, the world's largest gas station. That's right, CrossX Fighter. Thank you so much for tuning in and tuning in and learning about that with me. All right, speaking of gas stations, let's talk about what you would buy there aside from gas. A lot of people would actually stop by, buy a snack or whatnot, maybe even buy diet soda. Well, here's my next story, and this one might get you to stop drinking diet soda in just a minute because it might be time to put that can down altogether. So, aspartame, a commonly used artificial sweetener, is said to be declared a possible carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer this month or next month, I should say. So, IARC. So, this ruling, based on all published evidence, lists aspartame as possibly carcinogenic to humans for the very first time. Now, I don't know about you, but I've known for some time that diet soda isn't a good thing, right? Isn't something that you should drink regularly or often. But this is sort of that this big thing where they actually now are going to publish this and they're going to have a ruling. Then the ruling does not consider safe consumption levels, doesn't tell you how much to drink or how little to drink, which are determined by the World Health Organization Expert Committee on Food Additives and national regulators. But they said they definitely have raised concerns. They've led to lawsuits and prompted manufacturers to switch to alternatives because aspartame this year will announce that this is just not a good thing and it's not healthy for you and it could lead to cancer. So I think we would all agree that we should be putting down diet soda in general, especially those that have this particular item in them. I'm sure there's diet soda that doesn't have this, so that that this wouldn't be in that category. But in this ingredient, as we know as right now, since we now know that it's carcinogenic, is definitely something you want to be mindful of. And of course, we care about you. We don't want you to get sick. So take a look at that. If you have anything like that in your cupboard, might be time to get rid of it. All right. So with that, I appreciate you being here with me. It's been a joy spending this time with you. Now, do you know that tomorrow we have a very fun In the Loop episode scheduled? So we'll be coming live tomorrow in the morning here on the West Coast. So usually we're here somewhere around anywhere between 10 to 10:30, sometimes a little earlier, but around that time. So definitely, wherever you're joining me from today, do know that we'll be joining again tomorrow with my very, very nice co-host, Greg Nibbler. And of course, if you ever miss watching us live, definitely just check us on replay because that's why we keep the recordings there for you. And we always appreciate you tuning in. So thank you so much, my friends, today for tuning in and our esteemed audience for watching and being here for Level Up Live. And if you enjoy this video, please give me a like and subscribe. We'd truly be grateful for it. And of course, you can catch full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Samsung, LG, Roku, and many other platforms. And don't forget to check out Yes Factor with Winnie Sun, also on the Apple Podcasts and LinkedIn Podcast Network. Thank you again so much for your support, and I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning. Take care now.